not a luxury, but a vital component of health equity, especially for underserved and marginalized populations who may experience barriers to accessing wellness resources and support. And whereas Willingboro Township is committed to promoting a culture of wellness, encouraging its residents to explore self care practices, and supporting programs, services, and community initiatives that foster physical, emotional, and social health. And whereas all members of the community, children, adults, seniors, caregivers, educators, professionals, and public servants benefit from greater awareness and adoption of self care principles throughout all stages of life. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor Samantha E. Whitfield of the Township of Willingboro, on behalf of the governing body and all residents, do hereby proclaim the month of September as Self Care Awareness Month in the Township of Willingboro and urge all residents, community organizations, schools, faith based institutions, and businesses to join in recognizing the importance of self care by engaging in activities, education, and outreach that promote holistic wellness and empower individuals to take positive steps toward a healthier, more vibrant future.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Worthy. And now we will go on to our Township Manager for the municipal updates.
Thank you. We're going to start our updates this morning with our engineer, Mr. Russell Sapola, who's going to come and give you a summary of the things that have been happening or will be happening in the township from an engineering and construction or project standpoint. Mr. Sapola.
Good evening, Mr. Chabola.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council, and Solicitor. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Thank you for having me tonight. I'd like to start off with the Jake's Playground and Pickleball Court. We're looking at a reduction in the playground equipment of approximately $300,000 in savings, which would bring us closer to our grant amount of $1.6 million. With those reductions, we would be at $1.9 million, and we would still have 6 pickleball courts. When we go out to bid, we're going to give an option for 3 or 4 pickleball courts in order to try to reduce the cost to get closer to our grant amount. Right now, we have about $90,000 for each pickleball court. I have a meeting set up this Friday, September 5th at the JFK Center and MLK building for the direct install program of the rooftop heating and ventilation units. We have problems with the mounting of these units on the structural framings of the buildings. I will be meeting with Snyder Electric, Donnelly Energy, and members of the Department of Public Works. For Edge Lane Road improvements, our advertisement bid date is September 5th, and we expect to accept bids on September 23rd. For Buckingham Drive, we're currently under construction with concrete work and curbs and handicap ramps. Milling and paving is to begin either tomorrow or Thursday. Expect to last 2 to 3 days at the most. For the JFK exercise track, we have alignment working on options for the track surface and regrading and drainage of the inner turf field. I gave alignment some suggestions for the track surface and other investigation items. Next council meeting, we're going to be requesting a change order for additional concrete curb ramps at 6 locations where PSE&G is going to be completing paving of 6 streets. And again, that change order I would hope to get that approved on the 16th meeting so that we could continue with the work for paving and concrete work at Sussex, Sudbury, Surrey, Sherwood, Shetland, and Shawmont. For the Performing Arts Center, I will be monitoring the progress of Phase 2 and observing our consultant Pannoni's work involvement to keep the project on schedule. The Babbitt Lane Stormwater and Drainage Investigations is to get underway with a kickoff meeting with T&M Associates, which I expect to have a meeting next week. For the food bank, we're waiting on costs from the contractors that are through the New Jersey Schools Cooperative Pool, and we have a consultant. They have a consultant which works to get the prices, and DPW is also coordinating this work. But I personally spoke with the gentleman from the Schools Cooperative, and he told me that they expect to have a couple of prices within 2 weeks. As you're probably aware, the library trees have been removed that were giving us some root system problems adjacent to the library. Now we're going to be having that's the Department of Public Works. We're going to have 8 trees planted, and they're told to me to be some beautiful crepe myrtle trees. And then we're going to dress it up with some river rock around, so we won't have any problems with the root system anymore. At 30 Executive Lane and 78 Tidewater Drive, we have under drain and pipe joint failures, and I have been trying to get prices from different contractors, but have finally worked out what I think is prices from J. Fletcher Kramer, that they were interested in working with us as our repair contractor, and I'm expecting to get prices from them later this week, so we can get started on those 2 repairs. For the phase 1 of the senior center and library relocations, I'm going to have a sit-down meeting with Alimo's engineer, either late this week or early next week, to go over the final scope items and drawings, so we can put that project out to bid soon. We expect milling and paving to be completed by Earl Construction as the last portion of our phase 1 I-bank projects. And from September 5th to September 8th, we will be working on Barrington Lane, Messenger Lane, and Mayfair Circle for milling and paving. Only 2 streets that are remaining, which are Hopkins Lane and Holbrook Lane. They will not be done until 2026 due to the PSE&G's ongoing work. I received quotes from RVE, T&M, and CME for 4 locations that we also have under drain and miscellaneous pipe failures. Those 4 locations are Ballard Lane, Plumtree, Shetland, and Tipton, and Topeka Lane, which I know we're interested in getting that done. We have the proposal from, again, those 3 companies, and based on the scope of work and price, I recommended awarding the contracts to CME Associates to Mr. Harris in the amount of $3,500. And lastly, I finally got what I think are a good budget price for all components of the aquatic center. This would include the fabric building structure, which would be supplied by a company called Sprung Structures, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, 170 feet by 75 feet, which would be supplied by Mertha Pools, or it proved equal. A splash pad area, 1,000 square feet. I had a price from a company called AquaWorks. Bottom line for site work, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, offices, lockers, architectural, engineering, consultant fees, and contingencies was $11,500,000. And that's all I have.
All right. Any questions
Any-
for Mr. Chipola?
Any-
You really dropped a bomb on us with that
No.
last figure.
I know. That's why I saved it till last. And this is backup information. I've been working on it, as Mr. Harris knows, as time permits, just slowly getting prices and putting things together. I'm not saying that's the bottom line, but I think it's a budget number that we have to be realistic about. The pool itself is $4.2 million, the Olympic-sized pool, just a pool. It's installation with all the plumbing and, excavate. Yeah, that would be engineering and everything. I know it's a lot of money.
Yeah. All right, I'll open it up to questions for Mr. Chipola. Councilwoman Perrin.
Thank you for your presentation. A question regarding the Performing Arts Center. I know you said that we're on schedule for the date. What date is that? Do we have as far as, is it moved a few times? It was August and September
We
as far as
were,
opening.
we were looking for end of this year. I don't have an exact date on that, but I believe it's end of this year.
Like end of this year, like
End of this
January, you mean like
well,
December?
end of this year, 2020.
December? Okay.
They have, right now, we're in the shop drawing phase. So they have 30 days to produce shop drawings for the steel portion, 60 days, I believe, to produce shop drawings for the electrical and the fire protection. And then 30 days after that, they have to move on those items to get them built.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm looking towards the end of the year. But we have a good contractor from what I hear, J.H. Williams. We had a kickoff meeting 2 weeks ago. I was on vacation, but I got the detail from our consultant project manager at Pannoni, and they sound like they're really willing to get started and have actually done some work before the contract was signed, which is a good sign.
Okay.
But we're not gonna make that October
No.
date.
Fortunately.
Okay.
unfortunately.
Would you be able to get a hard date for us?
Sure.
Thank you.
One other question, this might be a council question. I know you spoke, Mr. Chabola, about the first phase of relocating the senior center. I don't recall when we voted on approving to relocate it. Like I
For
said,
the
it might,
library.
yes, to relocate the library to the senior center. Is that what I heard you say?
No, and Mr. Chabola, I did write that down as a note. The portion that is being worked on is the senior center expansion with the hallway.
Right.
It's not the library relocation.
Why
That
did- why
portion
did
is
they-
not
I must have-
in the portion. Is that correct, Mr.
That's
Harris?
correct.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so, and I know that Ms. Foster had given a presentation, a few months back about the whole transitioning of being able to have the path, and so that's what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Okay. Did we ever get renderings on that, or this is the first phase? Is this what he's talking about, what it's gonna really look like?
Yes.
Okay, I was just stating that, and it might be before your time, Ms. Foster had came and presented, the idea of having a corridor connect the senior center to the JFK Center and like a little restaurant, cafe type of a thing. And, she did her own drawings, but so I was thinking that with the phase one, is that what you're referring to when you said
Yeah, I
phase?
apologize if I misspoke. Yeah, the phase one would not, I don't think that includes and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that includes the cafe portion. I think that's going to be in the next phase.
Okay, so maybe next meeting we'll get an, clarification
Yeah,
on,
'cause that's around the corner from, the core area where we're working with, and I believe that's on the phase two where the cafe is.
oh, that would be.
Okay,
Another
cool.
wing.
So for the record, can you just clarify what portion of the building
So
you're
the
talking
the
about?
remodel is going to take place. Whether you move the library or not is a different subject, but the space will be prepared for utilization if you decide to move forward or not. And if you decide not to move the library, it could be repurposed into another function.
Okay.
Right, maybe I didn't make myself clear on that, but right, I knew there was a library involvement in that.
Yeah,
Gotta be clear.
Okay, sorry.
so, back to, Ms. Foster's presentation, she had presented, repurposing the upstairs, rooms to be more meaningful to the senior center, and also a corridor.
So Ms. Foster's presentation was her idea of what that would be, but we have since gone and got in architectural drawings and designs and an engineering plan for the first floor, and this remodel and design will be strictly related to the first floor.
Okay, so we're not doing anything with the top level?
No.
And you're incorporating the connection between senior center and the JFK Center. Cafe is phase two.
I can confirm that, but I
Okay.
believe it's phase two.
All right, so perhaps maybe at the next meeting, I would like a little bit more clarity on what's happening with that transitioning of the senior center to the JFK Center.
It's not really a transition in
Or opening,
There's a door there, and we will just be opening the door and just connecting the building, but there's no physical constructing a transitional space. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so the senior center and the JFK Center are
Yeah.
already in the same building. It will just be activating the corridor that is immediately next to it, not so that it won't be as closed off. There will be an
opening.
additional area, yes.
okay. But no structure right now, purpose of that space, other than a walkway to,
No, it's,
maybe the.
There are
rendering-
classrooms there right now.
classrooms.
Deputy Mayor Worthy?
Yes, Councilwoman Perron, if you think about when we walk into, the senior center, to the left,
Mhm.
those doors are always closed.
Yes.
And they say do not enter, or the alarm goes off. That goes straight into that first floor, corridor, currently where Faith in Action is, and then going on down that way. And that's, that hallway and on around is this space that we're looking to activate. That's where the renovations, so that is like the transition or the connection.
Mhm.
Instead of those being, well, I don't know if there'll still be fire doors, but right now they do stay closed, and they do say an alarm will go off if you
Right.
push them open.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and then there was one other thing that I had Mr. Chapola, you talked about a reduction in playground equipment for the Jake's Place.
Right.
And I remember those were two separate grants, one that we got for the pickleball court and one that was separate for the Jake's Place. So I was just curious about how much equipment is being reduced to? Is it, because I think the selling point on this was that it will be a bigger inclusive playground than what we have at Broido.
I did not get an exact description of what pieces of the playground would be reduced. They only gave me a general, like I said, a dollar value. I didn't get a drawing from them as to exactly what's being reduced, if that's what you're asking me.
Okay, yeah, and I think a reduction of $300,000 is significant and likely more than one piece of equipment.
Oh,
So,
I agree. That's.
I just don't want it to, advertise a whole new playground and then it's only one piece of equipment.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wasn't here as far as the grants. Mr. Harris, can you speak on that? I'm not sure what grants there were on that.
So we
Or
did
two.
receive very substantial grants for those two projects. Green Acres did allow us to combine those two projects to utilize the sum of the monies to make sure that that both projects were done. I believe the pickleball court project came in a little bit less expensive than anticipated, which allowed the deferral of the additional funds to the Jake's Place, which also included incorporating restroom facilities and things like that, which I don't think were originally considered. However, the projected construction costs came in at substantially more than what the grants would cover. So we were just looking at ways to bring it more in line with, without having to put almost twice as much money into the construction of both of those facilities. So nothing has been finalized. Again, we were just looking at ways to just kind of reduce those costs. One of them was to consider the original plan was to have 6 pickleball courts, and we decided to bid those as an alternate bid. So it could be 3 pickleball courts, 4 pickleball courts, depending what the desire versus what the financial capabilities are to construct. And then to maintain as much of the original Jake's Place playground, keeping in mind that we do have to provide bathroom facilities and all the causeways that go along with that, and just try to keep it reasonably cost effective. So there's nothing ingrained in stone as to what will and what will be. We even haven't seen a finalized optic of what all the equipment is. However, just the engineer in their planning has just kind of outlined some ways that we can reduce the cost if we choose to do so.
Okay. I'd really be interested in seeing that before we,
Mhm.
I can do
finalize
that.
anything and move forward with the.
Sure,
construction.
even if he just marks up what they already have, just a quick, markup and show circles what would be removed. Just so here you can see, well, how much we had and what's going to be removed.
Right.
Yeah,
Make
that
a
would be
decision.
helpful.
I agree.
Any other questions for Mr. Chapola? All right, thank you, Mr.
Hey, you're
Chapola.
welcome, Mayor, anytime.
Mr. Harris?
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. I just have a few items to bring to you today as, we're transitioning out of the summer into the spring. This week, the fall, yeah. I'm sorry, I skipped two seasons there, Deputy. I'm very futuristic looking. This week, we invite all of our residents and community members to join us for our special ribbon cutting ceremony to mark the official launch of our new outdoor tennis court. That is going to happen on Friday, and I believe that Ms. Jackson will probably share more of that with her information and report to the community. Also, the township has issued a trash survey, which was mailed to every taxpayer. and shared across our social media channels. As of today, we have received 460 responses, and this is valuable feedback to help inform future decisions about our waste collection services, and uh, demonstrate the strong level of engagement from our community. We do have to make a decision. Well, we do have to go out to bid for that in the latter part of this year, and we're trying to determine what it is that will be best for our community. And we are also looking to engage an outside consultant to come in and do some review work for us. Our fire and EMS department recently held the Touch a Truck event that was on Thursday, the 21st. It was a resounding success with more than 225 attendees. And the children in particular had a wonderful time. And we just like to say thank you to all who participated and supported this popular community gathering. And finally, in human resources, there are several noteworthy personnel updates. As you may recall, Ms. Loretta Anderson will be retiring in October after 27 years of service in Willingboro. We look forward to welcoming Mr. Anthony Bucci as our new Human Resources Manager. Mr. Bucci brings with him 20 years of experience in local government, and he will officially begin his role on September the 15th. In addition to that, Public Works employee Michael Vaughn has retired on Thursday of last week after 25 years of dedicated service in DPW. Mr. Vaughn is especially remembered for his efforts in maintaining Willingboro's flower beds and green spaces, leaving behind a visible legacy throughout the township. So we thank Mr. Vaughn and Ms. Anderson for their years of dedicated service to Willingboro Township. And that's all that I'm going to bring to you this evening.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harris. Do we have any, one thing that I had was on the trash survey. I have been getting some reports from residents that they're having trouble submitting if they only have one trash can, only need one trash can, and the rest of the questions don't apply to them. There's a mechanism that make those, you have to answer them.
Okay.
And if they don't have any input or if they don't apply, they're not able to submit their response.
And we will look at the responses and make the adjustment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments for Mr. Harris? Councilwoman McIntosh.
Thank you. Just one question about the traffic unit, as we start school again,
Mhm.
will that ramp back up during the, school hours or, beginning and end of school?
So I don't know that they ramped down, Chief Buck,
Little
but
lower.
I guess they will probably be more visible in school areas. Chief
Okay.
Bucks, would you respond to that, please?
So our traffic unit will be responsible for motor vehicle violations of such. Our patrol division, each officer is assigned a particular school, and they will be assigned to those schools at particular times, such as dismissal and arrival.
And I think, also, I'm just thinking the speed down Beverly Rancocas. the speed
Yes,
down-
that's where our traffic units would be.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Chief Bucks. Any other questions for Mr. Harris? Councilwoman Perrin.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, at our last council meeting, you did briefly discuss that you had some personnel absenteeism with the recreational center, and I recognize that you also stated that the person you hired left and you made some adjustments to that department, whereby temporary adjustments, deputy township manager is the acting director. However, with regards to the other roles, can you give an update on how soon before the individuals are coming back to their posts, or are they not coming back? Has there been any postings? I did see some postings online.
Department is going through a very substantial restructuring, and is not a bad thing. Mr. Lowry has assumed the helm over there and has made some wonderful operational changes already. I cannot go into detail about individual employees as those are personnel matters. However, there have been some, if you follow, local media, who may have chosen to seek other employment. And as far as the others, I am expecting return to work after their their illnesses.
Do you expect full capacity like by end of September? Do you have any gauge of when we'd be at full capacity or?
The persons who I'm expecting to return are expected to return in September. But I feel that we will probably at full steam, probably a little bit past that.
Okay, one last question regarding that topic. Are you creating any new positions in that department, or are you just filling who's left?
We have not created any new positions.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perrin. Anything else? Seeing none, we can move on to the resolution overview or ordinance and resolution overview.
So first on the agenda this evening is ordinance number 25-17, which was presented, prepared for possible introduction. This ordinance has been submitted to the TNVR proponents for their comment. Unfortunately, was not able to get it to them and back in time for a response for this meeting. So if you would be gracious enough, can we possibly table this, if possible, introduction until the 16th? Ordinance number 18 is an ordinance authorizing the municipal clerk to correct non-substantial and non-material errors in legislation. And if she wishes, she can elaborate on that a little bit further.
Madam
Thank you.
Clerk?
Thank you, Mr. Harris. So this resolution, this ordinance, is really more, of a convenience thing in case resolutions come through with a typo, or, there was an error in the, um, a plethora of things. I think it says for misspellings, grammatical errors, numbering errors, cross-referencing errors, punctuation errors, and typographical errors. To note though, there was we did add a change to it to make sure that any financial errors, even if it was a typographical error on a number, would still come to council. So that was added into the ordinance after it was presented to you guys. So there'll be a C at the bottom of this ordinance. But so all those types of things, all those financial errors will come through use, but a good example is if I put the wrong date on the bottom of a resolution, so it doesn't have to come back to you guys to be voted on. It just gives me some teeth to be able to change it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zavino. And then resolution 2025 is a resolution very similar to that particular ordinance, but I believe it is relative for one material change to ordinance number 25-13.
Correct. So this is a good example. The resolution that our redevelopment council gave us, there is an error in the resolution number that they put at the top of the ordinance. They put the planning board resolution, not the council resolution. So instead of it all coming back to you and you voting on it again, gives me a way to just change it and let you guys know that that change happened. You would still be notified on any change that's made. It just would skip the part of you guys voting on it again.
Thank you again, Ms. Savino. Resolution number 2026 is a resolution authorizing the approval of vouchers for payment and ratification. Resolution number 2027 is a resolution authorizing refunds for the overpayment of taxes. Resolution number 2028 is a resolution authorizing the township to award a contract to Route 23 Auto Mall who are participants in the New Jersey State Approved Purchasing Cooperative for the purchase of 2 Ford vehicles for the inspection department. Those vehicles were approved in the 2025 capital, and we're going forward and just making that acquisition. Resolution number 2029 is a resolution authorizing membership in a mutual aid and assistance agreement with participating units. This is basically with Burlington County, where it is in the best interest of the residents of this municipality to enter into a mutual aid and assistance agreement with Burlington County and other municipalities included but not limited to police, EMS, and fire services. Provide, they would just provide additional protection against loss, damage, or destruction from catastrophic events, major emergencies, or other extraordinary devastation to persons and properties. And this is just outlining the parameters of how each community will participate in the collective shared service agreement. And I believe you have the details of those agreements in your packets as well. And resolution number 230 is a resolution appointing members to various boards and commissions. And those are all the items being presented to you this evening for consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. All right, at this time, we will move on to our first public comment. This is for public comment for agenda items only. If you have a comment for an agenda item, please come up to the microphone. You'll have 2 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Public comment is now open for agenda items only. Seeing none, public comment is now closed.
Mayor, if I may, I forgot to call Ms. Jackson to give us an update on community events.
Okay. Well, we just finished public comment, so I'll call her up after that. All right, the first public comment is closed. Ms. Jackson, if you'd like to come up.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, all members of council, and all assembled. Happy September. So as Mr. Harris started to share with you, we are excited about our ribbon cutting that's going to be on Friday, September 5th, beginning at 10 a.m. And this is a ribbon cutting for our fitness court studio. So all are invited to share in this occasion as we celebrate a partnership with Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey and a national fitness campaign on bringing this wonderful resource to our community. So Friday's event will include remarks from our local and county officials, demos by our ambassadors, which will include Coach Mel, as well as Zumba by Bonnie. So we encourage everyone to come and be a part. And we do want to remind you that we do have Coach Mel on site Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. and again in the evenings from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. to assist residents with getting familiar with the court and the 7-minute workout session. For those who purchase tickets for our Borough on Block on Saturday, we look forward to seeing you. Additional information will be shared with our ticket holders via email. On Saturday, September 13th, the Township will be hosting a charrette event under direction of the Township Clerk's office from 10 a.m. to noon, and I'm sure the Township Clerk will share more information. And then we will close out September with our Fall Clean Communities event beginning at 9 a.m. at the Kennedy Center. More information will be shared as we get close to the event. And certainly there will be opportunities for our high school students or young people to participate and get recognition or certificates for community service. So we do invite them to be a part of that. The applications for the Citizen Police Academy are available, and residents are invited to be a part of this 4-week class designed to inform and acquaint you with the world of law enforcement. And that's it for September, but we are going to be working on some fall and holiday events, so we invite you to stay tuned. And as always, to just stay in touch via our website, social media, YouTube channel, and Willenboro Weekly. And Mayor, I did want to advise that the survey has been updated, so residents should be able to navigate the survey with no problem.
Oh, great. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Jackson.
Thank
And what was the date that you said for the Clean Communities cleanup?
It's September the 27th, the last Saturday in this month
Okay.
at 9 a.m. at the Kennedy. Flyers and information should be,
All right. Any other questions for Ms. Jackson?
all right.
Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Just one point of order, Madam Mayor. Do we have an update on, I know we did public comment, but as far as online, do we have an update as far as
I do not.
it's streaming? But no communication the other way, right? Okay.
All right. So we will continue on with the meeting for the ordinances. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I did want to just reiterate, we are tabling the TNVR ordinance.
Yes.
And then for ordinance 2025-18, I would like to put in a addition under section 3-24 under C. Number 3, there will be another C, and that was where I will be adding the caveat where the council has to vote on financial errors.
So with that one, I think because it's not on there and the other
Yeah.
council members haven't seen it, it may be best to just table both of those.
That's fair too.
Okay. All right, so I make a motion to table ordinance 2025-17 and 2025-18 until the next meeting in September. That would be the September 16th meeting.
Second.
All right, moved by Mayor Whitfield, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Madam Clerk?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, and then we did have, I believe, one item needs to be pulled for, from a consent agenda. That would be resolution 2025-230 for appointing members to various boards. But other than that, I make a motion to create a consent agenda for items 2025-225 through 2025-229.
Second.
Moved by Mayor Whitfield, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve the same?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh.
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
All right, resolution for separate consideration tonight is resolution 2025-230, resolution of the Township of Willingboro, County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, appointing members to various boards and commission. This is to appoint Matthew Epps to a resident member for an unexpired term on the Economic Development Committee to expire at the end of this year. I'd like to entertain a motion.
So move.
Second? Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Mayor Whitfield. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on from resolutions. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the treasurer's report dated August 25th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilwoman McIntosh. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. And for approval of minutes, I have the July 15th and the August 19th regular council meeting minutes for your consideration. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Abstain.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, your updates.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will keep it pretty brief tonight. The biggest things I wanted to touch on is, like Miss Jackson said, the shred event is September 13th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The flyer is being circulated. However, if you have any questions, you always feel free to call my office. We're asking for approximately 2 banker box worths per household. It doesn't actually have to be a banker box. This is just some sort of unit of measurement to kind of keep people from bringing vans and vans of stuff to be shredded. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to call. And then just some important upcoming dates for the general election. General election is November 4th, 2025. The voter registration deadline is October 14th. Early voting is from October 25th to November 2nd. The deadline to apply for the vote by mail-in ballot through the mail is October 28th, but you can go and apply for the vote by mail-in ballot in person at the county up until November 3rd at 3 p.m. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Any questions for our clerk? Seeing none, we'll go on to unfinished business. Any items for unfinished business? All right, seeing none, Mr. Harris, I did just want to ask for an update or a plan for our online technology as we move forward. I know sometimes we can't control the technical difficulties that happen, but this has been a persistent issue. And if you can provide council with a plan on how we'll be able to best navigate the situation with online broadcasting or what our capabilities will be in the future at the next meeting, that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no other questions, anyone have anything for new business? All right. Seeing none, we are at public comment. This is our general public comment. This public comment is for 4 minutes each. You will please provide your name and address when you come to the mic. And public comment is now open. This is our general public comment. And if anybody else wants to speak for a public comment, you can just come up and stand at the podium to be ready.
Hi, my name is Leslie Gerisi. I live at 38 Balfour Lane. My husband and I bought our house back in 1982. My parents were original owners. I grew up in Willingboro. I graduated, go Griffins. However, since my husband died, I have received at least 25 mailings or Township is ridiculous. And we are not holding, and I hesitate to use the word landlords because they're slumlords. They are moving people in that have no concept on how to take care of a home. I live next to one of them. I have seen rats in my backyard. There is overgrown brush. One of the inspectors was out and he was able to come in my house and look into their backyard from my backyard. He said it was horrendous. He took pictures, he cited them, but there won't be a change. If the landlord has no investment in Willingboro, we have to have something in place to control the landlords. It has become a major issue. We have people on our street that rent. They're wonderful. They take care of their property just like a homeowner would, but it's the few bad landlords that we have, the investment people that are causing problems. Also, some type of coordination between the police and housing inspections. We had a shooting on our street. One of our neighbors decided to shoot a gun out her front door and hit the neighbor across the street, her house. That, again, was a rental property, and why those people were allowed to stay for a year after that. There was also some drugs involved and whatnot. There has to be some way to control it. I know we can't control everybody. I don't want to live in a state like that. But yet we need to look. Willingboro used to be a beautiful town. We didn't have problems with rentals. Everyone was a homeowner and you busted your butt. And I understand up on on Van Sciver Parkway as they used to. They are now rerouted to Balfour Lane where we live. It is horrible for 3 hours because they start lining up at 8:30, 9 o'clock. We hear nothing but beeping horns, fights between people cutting in line. If a resident is parked on the street, instead of a person going around them and getting close to the curb, if there's no room, they just park right next to that parked car. And it's a narrow street, you can't get down it. God forbid if we have an ambulance or a fire emergency, you will not get that vehicle down the street. So, thank you for the opportunity. You can tell we are concerned. We're all residents of the same street, 2 streets. And, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to move. I want to be here. I've been here most of my life. And it's a good town. It was good back then and it's still good. But we can make it better.
Thank you, Mrs. Tercey.
Hello, I'm Teresa Williams McCoy, 76 Balfour Lane, Willingboro, New Jersey, 08046. Okay, my grievance is streetlights. I live on the corner of Balfour and Bolton. That end of the street is so dark that you can't even see your hand in front of your face. On the corner where I live is a school bus stop. So you got kids coming from both directions, from the side street and from on Balfour. So in the wintertime, when it's dark, you know, the kids, they be kind of late and they running down the street to catch the bus. Sometimes the bus drivers sit there and wait for them because they know they got a couple on that's late. He can't see them, or she, whatever the bus driver is, because it's so dark on that corner. Now on the other end, down by Van Sciver, it's like 42nd Street down there. But on the other end, on the end that I live on, you know, between, I'm gonna say, maybe quarter ways down the street. It's like, it's so dark between Balfour, Bolton, and Salem Road. And you can't see anything. So even if somebody walking down the street, me and my husband sitting on the porch, we can't see anybody coming from neither way. We can't see anybody coming from that way, from across the street, or from around our house because we're on the side, we're on the corner. So that's my grievance. We need lights around there. It's dark.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McCoy.
Hello, everyone. My name is God Glover. I'm at 54 Balfour Lane. Thanks for hearing us. Leslie, one of my neighbors, just pretty much gave all the concerns that I had, but I do have a few more. And I do want to piggyback on the nuisance neighbor. I just got to Willingboro and Balfour. We just celebrated my husband and I 4 years ago. He should have been standing with his wife. Anyway. Had to find him. But we just moved here about 4 years ago, and we absolutely love where we are. We've completely changed our home and our property, and we were satisfied up until the neighbor, the renter who came here that my neighbor Leslie just talked about, the shooting, the 15, 20 guys at her house all night, which is her property, where we paid for when they got ready to leave. They go down a curved street 60 miles an hour. My ring camera caught a few coming to her house with masks on. She's been gone, thanks to Chief Bucks here, she's gone. But I wonder, is there a nuisance ordinance? Do we have to go through 2 years again if there's a problem? And how do we go about it as neighbors? Who do we supposed to see? Because I called the mayor's office. I called Troy Singleton office. I spoke to the inspector, chief, the director of inspections, and they kept referring me to Chief Bucks, but I had no receipts on illegal activity. She was just a nuisance. There was mice running around. People stopped picking up her garbage because she was putting garbage in the recycle bin as well. The garbage, she wasn't using her garbage can, she was using another one. And I just wonder, what do we do? I'm new here. I just got here and I'm about to be 63 next week. I don't have anywhere else to go. So I just wanted to know how to address that and who exactly to address if I have that problem again, because we have 5 vacant homes on our street right now. I don't know if they're up for rent or new buyers or what have you. Also, I wanted to know about big items removed. Where do we go? Who do we call about removing big items? The trash people will not pick it up. And outside of the nuisance neighbors, which is, violates my whole peace thing, really want to know, is there a budget for our street? I had trees growing in my street last year. Until they fixed the piping and opened up the street, they removed the tree that was growing through the street, but it's still, our street could look much better, their property could look better, and for my taxes, I like my street to match my home. Thank you for listening. I don't know if there's an answer for that, but I hope you put it on your agenda because I love where I am.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Ms.
listening.
Glover. And we will answer public comments at the end of public comment.
Thank you. This is my first little meeting.
Oh,
Yes.
well, thank you for being here.
Plan to be at more.
All right.
Be cute next time.
Good evening, council members.
Good evening.
My name is Anna Calero. I live at 48 Balfour Lane. And I love Willingboro. I love living here. I've been here 18 years. But recently there's been a lot of problems and it starts with the rental properties. I don't know how to change it myself. So we had a meeting with Mr. Harris. And he made suggestions to us, and one of them was to come to the township meeting. Mr. Harris were here. So, but there's got to be a way, like, to keep people from doing the things they're doing that, it's infringing on the peaceful enjoyment of properties of people who have worked their whole life to buy their homes. And not fair, really not fair. And we've tried to include them, we've tried to educate them, we've tried to help them. I myself have done that. It hasn't helped at all. So then you got to go the hard line. You got to call the police, you got to get others involved. And we asked about changing ordinances, and we understand that's a process. But I remember I worked for housing all my life. And it was landlords that were required to have a set of rules. And when people rented from them, they were required to sign that they would keep those rules. And when they did, that was grounds for eviction. And when they had problems with other residents and those people, and we would get complaints, we would call the landlords. That would go in their record, and too many things in the record, and they got sent to court. And I understand you can't adopt an ordinance overnight, but there's got to be a way to help those who are just trying to enjoy their life. I retired 2 years ago. I feel like I'm doing more now than when I retired. But I mean, it's horrible. I have a disabled child who lives with me. And she's not a child. She's 50 going on 13. But ever since the shooting, she's afraid to sit on the front porch. It's been a couple $1,000s upgrading my front porch. So she would have a space where she could sit. And now she's frightened to sit there. I've noticed people coming down the street with masks on their face in the middle of the summer. And at night I have a problem sleeping sometimes. I look through my security tapes and I see these men, young men, I would imagine they are. And they're walking down the street and their faces all blacked out and their hoods up. I mean, that's scary, especially at night. And who do I don't see that until after the fact. So for me to report that like a day later or 2 days later, I don't think is very helpful. But to know that it's happening is very scary. I never had mice, 18 years here. I never had mice until the last person moved out. Then I caught 22 mice in my house because the people that they were cleaning out the house, I was having a security system installed. My garage door was open. 22 mice later. Never had a mouse here in 18 years. And every time they clean out, it's not only myself, but my neighbors are complaining. I heard one of the guys across the street come over and ask me a question about, the house and trash. And he said, well, you should see the cockroaches jumping out of the trash can. It's crazy. And we're subjected to that. That can come to our house. It's concerning. And I wish the township could do something to get on the landlords. That's the key, to get the landlords to keep these people obeying rules.
Ma'am, your time
I
is up.
think that's where we could start. I don't know. I would like to find out how to propose an
Ma'am.
ordinance. How to do that kind of work.
Ms. Calero, your time is up.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Thank you for coming.
Good night, council members. My name is Shoya Channer. I reside at 25 Spindletop Lane, and I'll be reading.
What was your name one more time?
Shoya Channer.
Shoya Channer. Thank you.
I am here to bring your attention to the severe and deteriorating conditions of Spindletop Lane. The road is riddled with multiple large potholes, making it hazardous for drivers and pedestrians. Additionally, the recent work done by PSC&G to refill the holes they created has only worsened the problem. The refilled areas are now even bumpier and more uneven than before. It is disheartening to see such substandard work, which I believe would not be tolerated in a more affluent neighborhood. Our roads are a critical representation of our city and community. No matter how much effort we put into maintaining cleanliness, poor road conditions overshadow those efforts. Well-maintained roads play a significant role in beautifying our community and ensuring the safety and comfort of its residents. So I would like to inquire if there's any plans. I know that I did see some roads being done, I believe, a year ago, but if there's any plans to fix the roads, and I do have pictures of the potholes, a few of them. This was an email I sent to Public Works. This has been a long time ago, so I just said, let me come and show my face. Pardon my appearance. I was watching online, but I wasn't sure if there was a way I could communicate over Zoom. And I also have a problem with, rentals. You could tell the difference in the communities from a homeowner and a person that's renting. Like in my street, you could tell the difference. No care whatsoever. I have code enforcement on speed dial, and they don't care. I don't know if we need to enforce stricter punishment, higher fines, and also parking on the road. I have a sharp turn. I don't know, is it Somerset? And there's cars that fill that street, making it dangerous, not to mention the kids that are outside playing ball now. So yeah, those are my concerns. Thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you, Ms. Channer.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Shauna Fladger. I live at 49 Belfort Lane, and I live right next door to one of the problem rentals that we had. Their person, like, they moved out now, but the house is being fixed up and everything for a new rental person to move in. And most of these people on these street, they're rentals, but I don't have a problem with Section 8, but I think they're mostly Section 8 people and they don't take care of their property. Or the landlord, when the person left the house, I had trees, they were going trees of heaven. You know, they get the lantern bugs. I talked to inspection Kenneth, he would come by, you leave a note, then nothing ever got done, and he would put the sign on the door. So eventually I went through Willenboro Connect and put my complaint in, and in about a week or two later, I guess they reached out to the landlord and had someone come out and actually try to chop the trees down because it was infested. Now my property has lantern bugs on it. Um, I recently just got a pool put in, and I have lantern bugs all in my pool. So, and because someone is moving in, they finally cut down the overgrown grass in the backyard. It was like so high, it was like going over, like it's over the gate. It was just in just the house. It was just terrible. So I'm just hoping, like we had shootings, then the guy next door, he passed away. Like he got hit in the head he had a fight. And I guess whatever happened, he passed a month later. Anyway, I'm just hoping the new rentals or whoever going to be moving in there are not chaotic like the people who there was before, because I have an 8-year-old. And my window, Willenboro sits low. And I'd be scared to death. They come out, they used to fight, pull out guns, and I didn't know if a bullet would come through our home. So I really keep my son upstairs in his room. Like he didn't really play downstairs. So, I'm with the community on the problems of the street and just hoping you guys like whoever these landlords are that buy these houses and then, rent them out, if we can do a better job at vetting some of these people that move in, so we won't have these type of neighbors who can't even keep up a property, can't even cut the grass. The grass overgrown, they won't cut it all summer or like twice a summer and things like that. So I'm just making it, joining in with my street neighbors and just hoping the people that move in next is just a little bit more caring about their space. And we don't have the cops at this place every other day. No one even lives there and the cops was there on Saturday. I'm like, what's going on? So that's what I just wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming. All right, are there any other public comments? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. At this time, we'll start to respond to the public comments. And first, I just want to thank all of the residents of Balfour Lane and Bolton Lane that have came out. I really appreciate your engagement. It's nice to see residents coming to a meeting, not only to voice their concerns, but also you're able to get some of the other information that's going on in town. So thank you for coming. And I will ask Mr. Harris, we'll tackle some of these together. You ready?
Ready.
Okay. All right, there are some concerns. I guess the major concern is about our landlord regulations and their duty to take care of the property that they are renting out. Do we have any penalties or ordinances around slumlords or anything like that?
We do. We have very extensive ordinances in place about property care and rental property maintenance. And as you are maybe aware or not aware, the process is not as easy as it could be. The process is if someone is in violation, they get a notice of violation. They have an opportunity to cure that violation. If the violation is not cured, they get a summons and then they go to court. And then the matter is dealt with in the court. If they abate the situation and then a week later let their grass grow up again, then we start from scratch and go through the process again. They get a violation. If not, then they get a summons and go to court. And it is very difficult for the township to kind of deal with these problem residents. And, we are saying rentals, but these are problem homeowners as well in Willingboro. And there is little that we can do other than continuing to give them summonses and take them to court. We hope that the judge will impose fines on them that are substantial enough to kind of scare them into taking care of their business. But the reality is not only in Willingboro, but in municipalities all across New Jersey, municipal courts are hundreds of thousands of dollars of uncollected fines from people who just don't pay. So what's the recourse? What we do here in Willingboro is that if we deal with a property, then we go ahead and place a lien on the property. But even that process is a very lengthy process that, okay, we put a lien on the property, then after 6 months, you decide that you want to foreclose on that lien and take the property. You're talking a year and a half, maybe, before that even happens. So how do you legislate and mandate good neighborship?
Deputy Mayor Wendy.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Harris. I'm going to approach this a slightly differently. Residents of Balfour Lane, I hate that you are experiencing that living in Willingboro. The council, the mayor and the council do not endeavor any of our residents to live the way that you are having to live with the different inconveniences, the threats of safety, the nuisances. That is not something that any of us enjoy hearing about. And I thank you for coming out to share those experiences with us. Instead of telling you what we can't do, what I would like to do is to find out what has been done on Balfour Lane. I would like to know, Mr. Harris, if you could please find out from code enforcement what has been cited, where are we in the process for some of these nuisances that the residents have shared with us. I understand that there are things that take time. I think the residents understand that. However, I don't know if we've really captured what has been done, what's been reported, where are we in those things? We don't know if those things have been caught at all. So I would like to find out what has been done so that if there's not emphasis on that block, that there is more emphasis. I'd also like to find out what we can do about the street light. Not sure if it was removed or if that's a new problem or if maybe the residents just now are bringing it to us. But what is it that we can do potentially with the street light, the darkness that they're talking about at the end of the block. So while I appreciate you sharing with the residents the timelines and what happens with the process when things are cited, I think that we can look at things a bit differently and understand what's been done and give them a little bit of relief. And perhaps within the next couple of weeks, since they've met with you already, they can meet again. But I would like for us to at least take a look at what's been done to offer them some relief. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Excuse. I'm sorry, right now we're answering some public comment and I can respond to you during that.
Point of order, Madam Mayor, just to the young woman's concern. If we can, it sounds like she was online waiting to speak. We did have some technical issues. Perhaps we can give her an opportunity to speak with her comments before we continue, just because she came down here because of our issues. Can we just have her ask her questions? If you want to do it now or after we answer, however you want.
Well, I want to finish answering this question and then we'll kind of take care of that.
And I
So-
did have a question for Mr. Harris too, but I can,
Okay.
regarding this same topic.
Regarding this
Yes,
topic?
the
Okay, good.
property. So, thank you, residents that came out to bring this to our concern. This is very disturbing for me to hear, as well as the rest of my colleagues. And I'd love some of the ideas that the young woman had spoke about with regards to penalties that the landlord must sign as far as what we require and check off. And so perhaps we can look into that. Let's look at our ordinance that we currently have regarding rental properties, but not only renters, also owners. But speaking about the renters, are we contacting the landlord? I know that code enforcement is out there, but are they putting like a sticker, because I've gotten codes before, they've put a sticker on your door. are we taking the extra mile to contact the landlord? And if not, perhaps let's look at that and incorporate that with code enforcement as far as an additional initiative to, you know, to twist the arms of those that are not taking care of the properties. The last thing I wanted to say about that is behind the yard with code enforcement, do we check a person's backyard, especially if it's fenced in? And if not, perhaps it's something we can continue to do. Actually, there's one more thing. Because there's a rodent problem, which, as we all know, rodents, they will begin to populate and move into other blocks. Maybe it's happening on this block, but is there something that we can do to even assist this area by putting down some rat poisoning? As far as the township paying for that, to put something down on that block to help mediate what's been happening is another suggestion. So that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Perone. And I know we do have some nuisance ordinances and things that are being enforced, as sometimes they do take time, but there's also some issues or concern about fast driving. Mr. Harris, would you ask Chief Buck, just making sure it go through the chain, to make sure the traffic unit is paying attention to Balfour Lane and taking care of the speeding and parking on that street as well. We did, at the last meeting, I believe we talked about parking in some of the areas. Can you take care of that? All right. Thank you, Chief Bucks. All right. So, Mr. Harris, will you be able to provide us with any information and what has been done to mitigate on the issue on Balfour Lane?
No, but I will be having a conversation with Mr. Tunstall after he returns, and we will be discussing this along with Chief Pucks as well.
Okay. Would you be able to provide us with an update at the next meeting?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. All right, and also the streetlights. I know that was mentioned, but I know we have some other connections with PSE&G, and if those streetlights can get fixed on Balfour, that would be helpful. It was Balfour, Bolton, and Salem Road, somewhere around that corner. All right. We did have a question about bulk trash. Mr. Harris, do you want to have?
So there is a process for bulk trash collection. You call and schedule bulk trash, and I'll have a conversation with Mr. Chapman. I don't understand why their bulk trash isn't being picked up if they're.
They don't know the process.
Okay, Mr. Chapman, would you explain the process for the residents, the numbers that they call, schedules?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Bulk collection is scheduled, excuse me, 877-2200 extension 1107. And you can also do it through Go Willenboro Connect. There you go. No, I'm gonna come and talk to you after the meeting. I'll answer all your questions after this meeting is over, because it's collected once a month, but I'll come and speak to you after the meeting's over.
But share it generally, please, so everyone can understand.
All right, bulk collection happens in Willenboro once a month. Collection requests are taken up all the way up into the third Thursday of the month, and then the collection happens the last week of the month. All right? All righty. Yes, we do. All right.
All right. And then I think one of the last issues on that part is on the road issues, the potholes and repaving. Mr. Harris, can you provide any updates on that project?
So PSC&G is finalizing some work on some roads. I'm not sure if Spindletop was one of theirs, but if they recently repaired that road, then there was a settling period, and PSC&G is in the process of moving forward with repaving all of their roads. And I will have a conversation to see where Spindletop is on the list, but if it was recently done, it should be probably I don't know when it was completed, so I really can't say when it's scheduled to be paved.
Okay. Will you be able to follow up with Ms. Shanner and let her know any updates on that?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And it was a pothole complaint as well, not just the paving, the repaving.
Yes.
All right, so Ms. Shanner, he'll follow up with you on those road conditions. All right, we talked about parking, streetlights, renters, driving. I think we got all of the issues.
The food drive.
Oh, the food drive. The parking on the food drive. Chief Bucks, is there anything that our traffic unit is doing? Oh, we can't have any comment from the
So-
audience, sorry.
It's very, as the resident said, it is a traffic issue. Like she said, they used to line up on Van Sciver, and what would happen is as they come around the bend on Van Sciver, it became an issue on that. So I guess what the drivers decided to do is move it to the side street, which has also caused an issue for that. And they do start early. They probably start 8:30 in the morning and probably goes to probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, I will take a look into it, maybe have a conversation with the church to see if they can come up with any better procedures on how they can distribute that, those items. But yeah, it's gonna have to be a conversation between, between the church and ourselves to see how we can rectify that situation.
Okay. All right, and if you can provide an update at the next meeting, that would
Yes,
be.
ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, as we are having technical difficulties online, I know some residents have come up and missed the public comment because we weren't able to accept them online. I'll call those residents up now.
Good evening, and thank you for taking that, our questions. So, I rise again.
Can you put your name and address, please?
I don't know why, but Jada Jackson, 83 Tidewater Lane. And the reason why I don't know why is my first question. Why were my questions what were presented twice verbally and in writing? I put them in the chat at our last meeting, not responded to as I saw as directed by this council by the township mayor. I was told that they would be answered. I know people who do not know me, who now know me. They know where I live. Interestingly, I don't get anything. So here goes my questions again. When will I get the report, as well as other residents, that analyze and identify the metrics and issues that led to the decision to restructure, revamp, whatever, the recreation department? 2, what specific ways does the restructuring, redoing, whatever you have done in recreation, presented at the last meeting, that staffing plan, directly address the needs, gaps, and concerns that are outlined in your analysis by which you made that determination? 3, how are you ensuring that the currently scheduled events are being executed at or above the standards previously established? 4, what steps are being taken now to ensure that planning for 2026, which should be currently underway, are progressing in a way that does not negatively impact the residents or the quality of future events? These are the same questions, twice verbally, once in writing, now again verbally, and also in writing. I put them in the chat at 7:46 p.m. after waiting 46 minutes to be heard in the first questioning. If someone would like, I can show you the screenshots, but I would like an answer today. When will I get the report?
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you. Report, analysis, decision-making, whatever preface the decision-making.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you.
Mr. Harris, do you have a response to those questions as to a report on the restructure of the recreation department of what led to it?
No,
Metrics?
I don't have a report with metrics and to analyze and identify. These were observations in needs and recreation. The need for a full-time director, and a decision was made to hire a full-time director. That individual did not work out, so a decision was made to put in a temporary person, Mr. Laurie, until we determine how we are going to move forward with the restructuring of recreation. The rationale or reasoning behind some moves with personnel are largely related to personnel issues, and there will be no report on those issues. And as far as, the programmings and plannings for 2026, yeah, we already have our plans for 2026. We know what the programs are, and again, we have Mr. Lowry in place to move direct recreation forward, and I think things are moving along well.
All right, and I think the last question was, how are we assuring that the events are being held to the same standard? The events that are scheduled for this year?
I believe that the persons
higher
that,
standard.
that we have in place who will be working on those events will ensure that they will probably be different and fresh and new and possibly at a higher standard.
Okay. The answer to that first question is that it was an executive level decision. There was no report or a written report or analysis that was done for that. And Mr. Holt, would you be able to provide any information on our requirement to create a report for a decision of that?
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe the decision to create the report, if there is one, is rests with the manager at this point. And the question being, is there a report with metrics, as I understand it?
And there is not one. Mr. Harris stated that he has not created a report. I'm sorry, we can't have more commentary from the courtroom. Mr. Harris, were any emails responded to that were given or sent to you from the last council meeting on any?
No, I haven't received any emails, and we don't really see chat comments while we are in the process of our council meeting. So I'm not familiar with information that may have been put in the chat during the council meetings.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Harris. I'll ask that you follow up with Ms. Jackson on her questions and any other issues that she may have.
Madam Mayor, 'cause I was going to ask Mr. Harris about that, because that feature is available for chat. People raise their hands to speak and so forth. So I thought the IT department they used to.
No, we
there was-
can't see the
So-
chat during the meeting.
So then maybe that feature should not be active, because then people are under the assumption that we're receiving the questions when we're not. So aside from our technical issues, is that feature going to be monitored, and by whom? And if not, then it should not be a feature where people can put questions in.
I don't know, Councilwoman, if that's a feature that can be turned off. If you,
Would you be able to investigate that?
we can.
Thank you.
Or have somebody monitor it? Is that something that, now this is a council question. Would you be opposed to having someone that can see the questions during public comment and say we have a written question, or would you want to think?
No, I'd rather those come through email.
Speaking? Or emails?
Email.
So email the questions and not through the chat.
Right.
Okay, so you definitely want to look into deactivating that feature, or go back to the way we used to have because we started this whole platform with online, initially it was done before,
During COVID.
during COVID, but we had, what was the platform? It was different than this. This was changed. Um, Wasn't it, through our Facebook page, was it, or Zoom?
It was always through Zoom.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's still through Zoom.
It's through Zoom. Okay. Well, maybe let's look into that because it's deceiving if people thinking that we're seeing their questions and not answering.
Yeah, and I think that's why I asked Mr. Harris to give us an update on the online capabilities, what features we will be able to provide to the public, because I imagine after this many instances of issues, that we need to make a change from what we're doing right now, because the inconsistency is not conducive to public interaction. So,
Absolutely. I agree.
Deputy Mayor Whitney.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As we're talking about interactions with the public and whatever challenges we're having technically, I know that in some places, residents provide their public comments in writing. If they don't do public comment like we do in real time, where we're trying to hurry up and respond straight away. I know that back in 2019 or so, under previous administration, they were working really hard to try to get responses to residents by the next council meeting. And it would be added to the manager's report, and the manager will report out at the next meeting. And then with this council, we moved to trying to respond straight away. But the challenge with that is a lot of the questions that are coming forth have multiple layers and complexities, but we don't have the email, the residents' email. We don't have all the information to be able to get with them. Don't know if the council wants to consider accepting in lieu of in-person, real-time public comment. Another option is submitting it in writing, and the responses are given also in writing and then verbally. But I've seen many different ways that public comment is done to try to make sure that we're not trying to give responses that are quick, but that are incomplete. So I think as we're looking at ways to enhance public comment, we may want to also look at what are those options that also include submitting a written comment versus coming to the podium or in addition to.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, what about giving information to the public on how to email questions, who to email, who's addressed to email, and maybe creating a process behind that? Because I know we did all receive one email public comment when one of our situations with technology issues via one resident, Ms. Holly, she emailed all of us. I don't remember that her questions being answered at the next council meeting. And then she's not here to speak to it again. So emailing is one thing, an avenue, which I do like that avenue, but then if there's a black hole where we're not responding to the emails, that's a problem. So I know I didn't respond to her email.
And I know there was a response that
Okay, so
went to that email.
so I don't know if she received a response to it and how. So maybe a process as far as expectation from the resident, where to email, how soon to expect a response, creating some sort of process like that.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we need to explore overall as we're reevaluating this technology situation, which, was put in place, and we've been trying to improve upon since COVID. But now it is really causing some issues and confusion between us and the public and how to comment. So I think if we'll start to have some discussions with Mr. Halt and our clerk and Mr. Harris about some strategies on how we move forward in this public comment piece. I know some of the things are not feasible, but we do have a statutory mandate of how public comment, and we have to be able to take public comment. It's just the manner in which we do that needs to be reviewed. So we'll talk and go through some discussions and meetings and come up with a plan for how we can proceed. All right. Is there anything else, anything that I missed from public comment? I don't think so. All right, moving along. We'll go to council comment. Any council comment? Seeing none. I just want to say thank you everyone for coming out. Once again, we really are working hard on our IT technical issues. We have been struggling with this for a few months. We've gotten a new contractor, but some of the issues still persist. As you know, technical issues are unpredictable and can happen at any time. And unfortunately, they keep happening on our council days. So we will, as I've talked to, or as we've asked Mr. Harris for some updates on a plan on how we can move forward efficiently with technology, and we will review our public comment procedures and section with our team so that we can make sure that our public interactions go as seamless as possible, and we stay within the bounds of the Public Meetings Act. All right. If there are nothing else, we don't have any executive session this evening. So with that said, I will ask for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
We are now adjourned. The time is 8:45.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Yeah.
Get her information? Okay, so then you